These are Leader Pelosi's words. We are inspired by the energy and activism of the many young activists and advocates leading the way on the climate crisis. That's you.
Hello, how's everyone doing today?
Good.
Good? Yeah. Thank you for coming. If you haven't heard of it before, raise your hand if this is your first Sunrise event ever. Oh my God, amazing. So Sunrise is a national movement led by young people to get fossil fuel money out of our political system and to fight for solutions that will actually protect our health and our communities and not make any more excuses for delaying action. My name is Daniela. I'm from San Jose. I usually organize with the Sunrise New York City hub, but I'm really excited to be in my home here fighting for a Green New Deal with you all. Woo! Yeah, can I hear more for a Green New Deal? So what is a Green New Deal? Why are we here? We're standing in front of Nancy Pelosi's office here in San Francisco, and she, as a leader of the House, has an obligation to support a new resolution by Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for a committee for a Green New Deal. This committee would be empowered to actually create real legislation to create millions of jobs, move our economy to 100% renewable energy, and make sure we're centering people of color, low-income communities, and people who are most hurt by climate change in all of our solutions. Because climate solutions that don't also reverse racial and economic injustice are not the solutions we need. Yeah. So we are not just here alone, and I'm going to pass it to Ryan to speak a little bit about what's going on around the country today.
Thanks, Daniela. All right. So as some of you may have known, this is not a single action. This is a coordinated effort across the country with over 350 actions happening across the U.S. So that's something to be excited about, to be a part of that. And in less than 1 week, our movement has signed on 11 members of Congress, hopefully doubling that or more after today, to support this ambitious climate policy called the Green New Deal that would provide jobs for every American that wants one and stop the climate crisis. We've done it using our most powerful tool, the voices of young people, speaking their truth and refusing to back down to defend our generation. Most of these actions have been organized in under 4 days. The message from our generation is clear. We want bold action on climate, now. And we speak for tens of millions of young people across the country that struggle with the anxiety of seeing their leaders fail time and again to secure their future on a planet that can support human life. They can't vote yet, but they will be able to soon, and their voices will be heard. Our state, our home, is burning. We're choking on the air we breathe, and people are dying. This is what a future without immediate action on climate change will look like. The writing is on the wall, and there are two paths forward. We have to choose now. Will we provide our country a path to a healthy environment and a thriving economy? Or will we allow the influence of fossil fuel money to continue to drag our country into the past and a future of more climate disasters? Modernizing our energy system and leading the world to a clean future is the best opportunity that our country has ever had in recent years to create new jobs and generate new wealth. But it will not happen without a clear indication that policymakers will support the transition. That is why we're here asking potential Speaker Pelosi to lead our country towards that vision, the only one that gives our country and our generation a fighting chance.
Thanks, Ryan. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about what we're going to do today before we get into it. So many of us have written letters to Speaker Pelosi about what we're fighting to protect from climate change and put them in these envelopes that say, what is your plan, or 12 years, the timeline we have to change. After we share a couple stories here about exactly what we're fighting for, we're going to head up to her office and fit as many people in the office as we can to talk to her or her staff and ask her to support the Green New Deal resolution, especially knowing that in just 1 week, since over 200 Sunrisers took over her office with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in DC, 11 representatives have signed on, like Ryan said. Like, that's insane. We're in a moment of true power here as young people, so we need to keep pushing and show her that we will have her back if she dares to support these kinds of progressive climate policies. So before we do that, In between that, we'll also stop and take a group picture with our beautiful banner here. But before we do that, hi.
I need about 1,000 phone calls, not no proposal. Because Leader Pelosi made a place for random people like me to reach out for 20 candidates across the country. So let's see the big picture. Bless you all. Woo! Yeah, Leader Pelosi.
Yeah, we are here to support Leader Pelosi in taking strong climate action. That's what this is about, nothing about the speaker race, by the way. So before we get into it, we just wanted to take a few moments to share why we're personally here. It's kind of a surreal time to be doing this since we're all wearing face masks. You know, I've been talking to people taking action all across California, in Davis, Los Angeles, Santa Ana, Sacramento, Chico, and everyone feels the urgency. California people are some of the ones who are stepping up most in this moment because there's no escaping it. And Leader Pelosi is from the Bay Area. Someone said at the Hub meeting last night, there's no way you're not thinking about this right now. So I'm gonna share my letter super quick. We're gonna hear a letter or a story from Sally, and then we'll each have a chance to share. So here goes. Dear Representative Pelosi, I am 24 years old, and my parents immigrated and had me born in California because they had dreams of a better life. They're the most earnest 4th of July and Thanksgiving celebrators I know because we truly feel so blessed to be here. But these days, I'm scared. The last week of breathing the worst air quality in the world here in the campfire smoke have me thinking so many thoughts. Thinking about hundreds missing and dead in the fire, thinking of our neighbors who live and work on the streets here in SF, breathing the toxic air. Thinking of my friend's baby, born into this world 1 week ago, breathing this air as her first breaths ever. How many more times will she and I experience this again? When will the fire come here? How much worse will the climate crisis get for millions around the world? We need to respond with the urgency the situation requires. We can create millions of green jobs and move our economy to safe renewable energy, and we can keep our communities healthy. Please support Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's resolution for a select committee for a Green New Deal. A nation of young people who understand the stakes personally stand with you. Thank you. So I'm gonna pass it to Sally, and she's gonna share a little bit about the stakes for herself.
Thank you. What's up, Sunrise? Woo! So happy to be here. Yeah, this is just the group that I've been looking for, powered by young people, so I'm gonna share my story, why I'm here. Dear Nancy Pelosi, my name is Sally Morton. I grew up in Wyoming, but have called California my home for the past 7 years. Right now, my best friend and roommate from college is in Chico, volunteering to help her community recover from the fires. She was born and raised in Paradise, and both her grandparents' homes and her family's homes are burned to the ground. I saw her last week, and I just asked myself, you know, what can you say to someone whose whole entire hometown is burned to the ground? You know, there's nothing to say. This isn't normal, and we've never seen this before. She was just helping her grandmother relocate to a hotel in Sacramento, and she was buying shoes for her brother. So I'm here for her and for all of the Californians who are affected right now, breathing climate change into our lungs. And I'm also here for my niece and nephew, Ari and Eliza. They're 2 years old and 4 months old. And because of climate change, I don't know if I'm gonna have children. And so they are, you know, the connection that I have to the future most intimately. And it's for them and just millions and millions of young people who are at stake right now. And we're just fighting for our suffering to be diminished. At this point, the suffering is going to continue no matter what we do. So we're here for it just to be diminished. And when Ari and Eliza are grown and when they're old and they ask me, Aunt Sally, what did you do? What did you do when you heard that what was happening to the earth? What did you do? And I'm gonna say that I joined Project Sunrise, the Sunrise Movement. I'm gonna say that I showed up at Nancy Pelosi's office on November 20th, 2018, and asked her to support a Green New Deal. And that's just gonna be one of the many actions that I take for the rest of my lifetime. So let's urge Nancy Pelosi and have her step up, and we'll support her 100% of the way. Thank you.
Thank you, Sally, for sharing that really powerful story. I'd like to invite everyone to stand a little closer, get like shoulder to shoulder in this circle. And we're gonna go around really briefly, and we're gonna say this. Say your name and say, I'm fighting to protect, or I'm fighting for, and just very quick. So I'll start, and we'll go around in a circle and try to speak up. So I'm fighting for my home in the Bay to protect it from fires, and New York to protect it from hurricanes. We'll have to do it without the mic for most people.
Okay. Yeah, since our new political reality became what it is, I've heard many younger than us people voice, their anxiety that they just lie asleep at night, not knowing how they can do anything about the fact that the planet they live on is being destroyed, and they don't even, have the ability to vote yet. So it's on us to speak up for them as well.
Sorry, I want to restate my modeling. So we're going to say, my name is Daniela. I'm fighting to protect my home in California. And then we're all going to say, and we're fighting for that too. So can we practice? My name is Daniela. I'm fighting to protect my home in the Bay.
We're all fighting for that too.
Yeah. And then do you want to try again?
Yeah. Hey, I'm Ryan. I'm fighting for my home in the Bay.
We're fighting for that too.
My name is Kelly, and I'm fighting to protect my home in the Bay.
We're fighting for that too.
My name is Cheyenne, and I'm fighting to protect homes in the Bay.
We're fighting for that too.
My name is Arvin. I'm fighting for the youth.
We're fighting for that too.
My name is Art. I'm fighting for the elderly.
We're fighting for that too.
I'm Tyler. I'm fighting for clean air.
We're fighting for that too.
My name is Matt, and I'm fighting for the folks who can't be here today.
We're fighting for that too.
My name's Kurt, and I'm fighting for the living world that we're all a part of.
We're fighting for that too.
My name is Ashara, and I'm fighting for all the animals that are going extinct as of now.
We're fighting for that too.
My name is Will, and I'm fighting for my students' lives.
We're fighting for that too.
My name is Jamie. I'm fighting for free.
We're fighting for that too.
My name is Jamie. I'm fighting for clean air.
We're fighting for that too.
My name is Megan, and I'm fighting for my daughter.
We're fighting for that too.
My name is Chelsea, and I'm fighting for the forests I grew up enjoying in California.
We're fighting for that too.
My name is Mike, and I'm fighting for a cleaner future.
We're fighting for that too.
My name is Liz, and I'm fighting for my patients.
We're fighting for that too.
My name is Allison, and I'm fighting for my patients to have access to green spaces.
We're fighting for that too.
My name's Kabir, and I'm fighting for the future.
We're fighting for that too.
My name is Sally, and I'm fighting for Ari and Eliza.
We're fighting for that too.
My name is Greg, and I'm fighting for the hundreds of millions of future climate refugees.
We're fighting for that too.
My name is Kaden, and I'm fighting for my generation and the next generation.
We're fighting for that too.
My name is Alex, and I'm fighting so that my children will have a planet to live on.
We're fighting for that too.
My name is Mark. I'm fighting for my kids.
We're fighting for that too.
My name is David. I'm fighting for the health of the oceans.
We're fighting for that too.
My name is Sarah. I'm fighting because my species is threatened.
We're fighting for that too.
My name is Marcel, and I'm fighting for the redwoods.
We're fighting for that too.
My name is Elisa, and I'm fighting for the oceans and the 1/3 of the world's population that depends on the oceans.
We're fighting for that too.
My name is Joni, and I'm fighting for the youngest people I know and their kids too.
We're fighting for that too.
Thanks everyone for sharing. So when I say, what do we want? You say Green New Deal. And when I say, when do we want it? You say now. What do we want?
Green New Deal!
When do we want it?
Now!
I can't hear you. What do we want?
Green New Deal!
When do we want it?
Now!
Great. So we're gonna take a group photo all together. Yeah.
So, good note. Before we take a group photo, a note that if you're going to go into the building, you'll need ID. So, can I get a raise of hands if you're planning to go in with us? Great. You guys have ID? Awesome. So, why don't we before we take a group photo, we're going to learn a song. So, you know the song called We're Gonna Rise Up? You want to do it with me? Anyone else know the song? We're Gonna Rise Up? Hell yeah. Okay, so we're just gonna start singing it, and then you follow along when you can. Ready?
We're gonna rise up till it's won. We're gonna rise up till it's won. When the people rise up, the powers come down. When the people rise up, the powers come down. They try to stop us, but we keep coming back. They try to stop us, but we keep coming back. We're gonna rise up till it's won. We're gonna rise up till it's won. When the people rise up, the powers come down. When the people rise up, the powers come down. They try to stop us, but we keep coming back. They try to stop us, but we keep coming back. We're gonna do it one more time and whisper. We're gonna like little points, okay? We're gonna rise up till it's won. We're gonna rise up till it's won. Rise up. And now get really loud again. Stop us, but we keep coming back. They try to stop us, but we keep coming back. Thanks, everyone.
Well, I'm here for the youngest people I know, my darling grandchildren and any children they might have, because I'm not young, but it's their world and time is running out. So that's why I'm here. We got to do it fast. We got to do it strong.
Instead of send someone down, or they'll send...
Yeah, they can send someone down or two. Too many of us to go up to the office, which is a really great thing. Like, snaps to everyone for showing up. We're here asking for the benefit of the live stream, we're here asking Nancy Pelosi to support the Committee for a Green New Deal. Hi.
Hi, sorry, I have a meeting in 5 minutes, so that's what I'm going to do. How's everybody doing? Good. Good. You're wearing the mask and stuff. I was actually just in Peru at 14,000 feet, and it's harder to breathe here than it was in the air.
Well, thank you for coming, and Chelsea's going to tell you a little bit about what we're here for.
Sorry, I literally have like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It's at 11 o'clock.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
So we all prepared letters.
Oh, great. Thank you. Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right.
You want to just pass them around? So we want to say I'm here with my friends and coworkers as part of the Sunrise Movement to ask you, so this is part of the Green New Deal Day of Action. So we're here today because we're terrified of climate change and what it means for our future and the future of our children. Climate change is no longer an abstract concern, as you I'm sure know. We see its effects every day. Right now, thousands of people are missing and 100 have burned alive in our own state from these climate change fueled fires. And our forests are dying of drought and our oceans are becoming graveyards. So right now we can't even breathe the air outside. This is a real crisis. The latest UN climate report gives us only 12 years to rapidly transform our economy and our society to address this climate disaster and protect human civilization as we know it. This is a huge and daunting task, but it's not impossible with the technology that we have now. However, we cannot proceed with business as usual. We're part of Sunrise, a mass movement of mostly young people and older people as well. We want to stop climate change and create millions of good jobs in renewable energy. Millennials like me are demanding change across the nation. Today is a National Day of Action with over 350 events planned across the country. And these are designed to let our representatives know that we need action now. So what we're hoping from Congresswoman Pelosi is the following: that she can back the request by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to create a select committee for a Green New Deal so that we treat climate change with the urgency that it deserves, and also that she'll sign on to the No Fossil Fuel Money Pledge to continue to reject campaign contributions from fossil fuel producers. So again, we want to thank Congresswoman Pelosi for her amazing work that she's done, and thank you for your work for our state as well. We hope that she can use her unparalleled skills and power, particularly if she does become Speaker of the House, and to support this movement.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, first of all.
When do we want it? Now! What do we want?
Green New Deal!
When do we want it?
Now! So if I could just take a second, because the leader put out a statement back on November 13th. It's very quick. I'll just read it to you. I can pass around copies in a reused green folder. So, okay. So this is a statement November 13th on House Democrats' commitment to addressing the climate crisis. These are Leader Pelosi's words. We are inspired by the energy and activism of the many young activists and advocates leading the way on the climate crisis. That's you. Which threatens the health, economic security, and futures of all of our communities. I recommended to my House Democratic colleagues that we reinstate the Select Committee to address the climate crisis. House Democrats ran on and won on our bold campaign for a $1 trillion investment in our infrastructure that will make our communities more resilient to the climate crisis while creating 16 million new good-paying jobs across the country. We welcome the presence of these activists, and we strongly urge the Capitol Police to allow them to continue to organize and participate in our democracy. So thank you all for what you do. Thank you for coming here. I'll make sure that Leader Pelosi sees all of these letters, and thanks to you and all of your counterparts and friends around the country for doing this. Oh, I'm Dan Bernal, I'm the leader's chief of staff here in San Francisco.
Did she make a statement more direct on the Green New Deal?
I will ask. This is a statement that she's already put out though about a select committee. So if it's okay, I'll leave these with you. I have 20 copies. Thank you. I apologize. I have a pre-scheduled meeting that I have to run up to upstairs at 11 o'clock. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask you one more question?
Sure.
Are you scared for the future?
At times, yes.
We should do this Green New Deal.
What do we want?